Lord's he's gonna descend with a shout, man, with the voice of a trumpet. And those that died in the Lord, you're gonna be raised first.
God.
And then those of us that are alive and remaining shall be caught in the air with him. Okay? And then the Lord's gonna proceed to get medieval on you people, man.
And look, the elect gonna have the first row seat.
First row seats, man. You know?
That's when we're gonna
Now, you know how when Mayweather or Wilder or whoever is in the ring and they're like, you know, getting the best of the fight, they just dominate the fight, and your wife, their wife will be sitting in the crowd and their family, and they just cheering them on, like, yeah, that's right, like, yeah, get him, you know, knock him out, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna be in the chariots, man, just watching our Lord take down our enemies, man. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. We're gonna rejoice, man. When the wicked, it's like, man, I'm trying to remember how it went. Proverbs 11 and 10. It's almost like Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous and authority, the people.
I kind of know how it goes when the wicked, if they're shouting or something.
Yeah. Proverbs 11 and 10. When it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth. And when the wicked perish, there is shouting.
When the wicked perish, there is shouting. So you just only imagine how we gonna be up and, you know, watching our enemies get destroyed. You know how Jay get all amped. You know what I'm saying? Like when we gathered at a fight or something like that, we watching a fight and we whoever we going for, we like, yeah, that's right, yeah, you know, Charlotte, you know, we just, you know, excited and shit. Hey man, that's how we gonna be when we watch the downfall of this devil, man.
That's gonna be the best fight ever.
Ever, man. And we're gonna party long after that, man. And the party gonna start and it's never gonna end after that.
Hell.
I gotta bring something.
You know?
Revelation 12 and 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels, and prevailed not. Meaning you ain't get the win.
Yeah, that Space Force don't mean shit, man.
You ain't gonna get the win, man.
Bro, I did a lesson a while ago. They put machine guns on satellites, bro.
Of course.
Machine guns. Metal bullets.
Of course,
man. Yeah.
That's them setting their nest among the stars, man. But hey, all that shit gonna get thrown down. Retarded, man.
No chance.
Yeah.
No chance.
Nothing that you create on the earth can touch what you can't see.
Hey, God, bro, and then you can't hit what you can't see.
You can't even see what you're attacking.
Yeah.
They can appear and then disappear on your ass.
And the Most High gave you the technology that you got. You think He's gonna give you the best of the best of the best?
Yeah, I'm gonna create a weapon that you can use that gives me that could potentially take me out.
Yeah, God.
Come on, man. Come on now. Go ahead,
Neither was there place found any more in heaven.
Yeah, there was no place found in heaven, meaning, you know, Esau, he's in his heaven, but it's gonna pass away. You know? There's no more throne. Sit down in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. You know, those that are exalted unto heaven, that should be brought down to hell, man. You know, so your heaven is gonna pass away with thermonuclear destruction and laser fire. Okay, the Lord, He's coming with His heavenly host, His heavenly army, to come and take you out of power.
That's right.
And that's why right now, you know that's pretty close. So that's why you're coming down with your new world order right now. You know, and you want to hush us up because you know what we're saying is true. You know?
I want to read the top of 2 Corinthians 13.
The brother already read it, but if you want to...
No. He read. He started at like...
You only started like...
29 or something.
Yeah, he didn't read the top.
All right, go ahead.
is 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 1.
See, this is one of the many reasons why we hasten the coming of the day, man. Because this is all you get all day up and down the street. Just total, just bunch of confusion, man. All these loud ass fucking vehicles, man. We ain't gonna have that shit in the kingdom, man. Our peace is not gonna be disrupted in our kingdom, man.
When we break the word down to the heathen, it's gonna be silence.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We ain't gonna have none of this shit.
They're gonna be intently scared to miss a phrase.
Or order.
Yeah, anything.
We'll be happy when the missiles detonate and wipe out all this bullshit, man. All these fucking Harley Davidson motorcycles and SUVs, all these loud ass with the loud engines and shit, man. Them missiles is gonna just wipe them out. It's too much confusion, man.
It says, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose from the sea, there arose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the waves thereof. This is a prophetic dream, right? And this is what the brother's talking about just now. It says, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. We read that. It says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice, as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue that man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. And that's talking about those nations coming to fight against Yahushua and the angels. But then Yahushua went back up into the fathership, the big luxury chariot, if you will.
And then he's talking about the heavens.
Yep.
People think it's talking about, the actual. Well, who said that shit? IUIC said the chariot's gonna come out the. Yeah, no, it said something about that shit. Yeah.
Well, it said, it says right here, it flew up upon it. It says, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. You couldn't see the place that this chariot began, called it a hill or a mountain, because it started at one end and it was so big, but you couldn't see the other side. So it went beyond the horizon line, right? Before you flat earthers out there. It went beyond the horizon line of the sphere. Okay? It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they that were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo,
to that Revelation 12 and 7. Yep. Esau's going to try to fight Yahushua anyway.
Even though he's scared. The nations will. Even though he's scared, they're still going to fight. It says, and he saw the violence of the multitude that came. He neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire.
Laser beams, man.
And out of his lips a flaming breath. And out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burnt them up.
Violence.
Every one.
When the blazes hit, it's going to explode, man. Explode whatever jet you riding in, man.
Yep. It says, and burnt them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke, I saw this, I was afraid.
They don't even recognize it as a
Ezra, he was afraid.
Yeah.
So Habakkuk was afraid. Ezra was afraid.
You think you're not gonna be afraid? They're seeing these visions and dreams. We see it. We gonna see it with the naked eye. In reality, you think it's not gonna be scary? In reality, you see that go down. The biggest Air Force jets and what's that other stealth bombers and shit like that. You thinking about what they can do? Do you see something way huger to zap this shit to bits, to dust and powder and smoke? You don't shit yourself, man. A lot of these people.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna beg to know what's going on. That was the point.
Zechariah, the 5th chapter.
And that's like, and that day is gonna be the day of being confounded.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of people that's ashamed and confounded on that day, man. A lot of niggas that talk, that spoke against us, they think that we're clowns for believing what we believe. And you got Sod Netter and the House of Conscious cats that come against us.
I wonder what they got to say right now.
In that moment, I would love to be a fly in their room, man. Just to look at the face of these men.
I want a camera in the room. They stupid ass probably gonna put it on the internet how they really feel. To their shame.
Yeah, man.
But for our enjoyment though.
So Netter might be streaming live.
Yep.
And then his shit gonna be disrupted. Yep. And then he gonna look outside his window and see what he was scoffing against.
Yep.
That's gonna be a beautiful.
You Negro
that's
gonna fly away in UFOs. Well,
hey, he already.
But he said some shit.
And he already said it though. Like he was on. I think he was on call with Garfield. I think. Yeah. And Garfield was like, he was talking shit against the Hebrews, and then he was asking him like, so what did he ask him? He said, so what if their God comes back and judge us? Then what? And then Sonetta was like, well, I'm gonna tell you, since you said, hey, you saying he's coming back, then that means that the Hebrews, that means that they was right. That means that what they said was actually true. And me and you, we're through.
Yeah.
Basically, he was saying like, me and you, our ass is out of there. If he comes back, man, me and you, we're done. We're gonna get fucked up. By the words shall thou be justified, and by that word shall thou be condemned. Your own lips condemns you. And I still got that little sound bite, man. I got it in my phone. I ripped that, man. I was like, yeah, I hope he remembers those words. He gonna eat those words, man. Yeah. And we was laughing at me and the brothers in the Akim in Mississippi. We were just playing and we was just laughing, bro. Because we know, like, well, that moment's gonna happen. And he gonna be ashamed and confounded, man, just like the rest of these clowns out here, man. The brother said he had something.
Zechariah chapter 5, verse 5. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, all right, this is before airplanes was created, all right? Right. And he said unto me, what sayest thou? And I answered, I say a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Then he said unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as it on this side, according to it. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on this side, according to it.
In other words, you're going to be judged by the things that are written in this book.
Right.
It talks about how the books were opened and the nations were judged. Yeah, man. Everything that you did, good or bad, the Lord's going to bring it to judgment. All right? And that's what those chariots, they represent the judgment, man. Go ahead.
I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts. It shall enter into the house of the thief.
Yeah, the thief. Who stole this country? Who stole the identity of the Israelites?
Who stole the people from off the shores of Africa? where they were living at.
And into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name.
Like the president, they do that every inauguration. These court buildings, they do it every court date. You know, swearing in on the scriptures. You're not supposed to swear, man. Go ahead.
And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof.
Hey, we always talk about this. That scene of the Independence Day. They came over the White House and demolished that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna do all of America like that, man. You know? So you people, man, y'all gotta feel comfortable. All right? But we know before we get to that day, you know, the devil he gonna come down and have a great wrath, man. He doesn't have a lot of time left, so you know he's scrambling to get his new world order in place. You know, right now I just got a word that the DOJ wants to suspend the Constitution.
Yeah.
All your constitutional rights under this so-called pandemic is finna go out the window.
I'm telling you this.
So they finna seize, they finna take away, you know, your
anything you got, pretty much. Anything they want.
They finna implement their executive power over you, man.
And all that executive power that Obama seemed like he just slipped right under your noses. But they needed the martial law to take away your rights.
Bush and
now,
Obama.
Yep. Now that both of them took away your rights, now they can push out them executive orders. And they don't counteract each other.
Like they
Now
have.
those are standing.
Hey, so that means what? You niggas are in trouble, man. Jakes, you niggas are in trouble, man.
The only reason that martial law is not fully in effect is because they're waiting for more troops to get here.
Yeah, they're getting everything in place.
Getting
They're waiting for
everything
the full deployment. They're making sure every major city is you know, being set up, man. Make sure we got the right number of troops there.
Yeah. All the routes.
All the
in and
routes,
out the city
the
shut off
checkpoints.
at the same time. So we shut off one lane, all fleeing the other way.
in 3 weeks.
Take the shit out of her.
Change road.
Yeah. But she hit the corner like
Oh, she gonna run to you.
And you think about it, with all these people hoarding up all this stuff, now since the Constitution is void, you don't those possessions that you have, they're not yours. Those anti-hoarding laws that are going to be in effect.
Go to Second Measures 16, because they talk about how they're gonna it's gonna be an insurrection. They're gonna spoil your houses and take you out of your houses.
Second Ezra 16 and 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
Yep. So they're gonna be out here, man. They're gonna come down, you know, as a great flood. They're gonna persecute the men of the Lord. You know. But hey, this gonna trickle down to you people out here too. Okay. Go ahead.
They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
Yeah, hey, they're gonna be unreasonable. They're not gonna reason with you. They just gonna be like, hey, follow orders or we off with your head. All right, or we'll just drag you. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna force you into our vehicle, and we're gonna cart you off somewhere, man.
Yeah, but either way, you have no choice, man.
Hey,
that power is given to them. It says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses.
so they're gonna come door to door, and they're gonna be snatching you out, and they also gonna take out your all the supplies that you thought you was gonna have stocked up.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna come take your shit.
I got the
Because you don't have that up under these executive orders, you don't have that constitutional right to hoard all that stuff to yourself.
You know what? They don't even have a right to bear arms.
There's no king of domain.
Hey, all power and liberty
now given to the government.
is now given over to the government.
Yeah.
And your president is now a dictator.
And you're now in subject unto that power.
Yeah.
And his authority. The whole checks and balances system don't work the same no more either. So now that he's about to take your guns, how are you going to fight to get him out of power? We always said Trump would be the guy that would do some shit like this.
Yeah, man. And these dumb niggas just buy guns too.
Yeah, it's about guns.
You don't even get to shoot them.
I got the word insurrection, bro. The definition for the word insurrection, it says a violent uprising against an authority or government. It says the insurrection is used in the sentence. The insurrection was savagely put down. From the Latin word insurgere, late Latin was insurrectio, and in Old French became insurrection, which meant rise up.
So basically like an uprising,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
So that's when they're gonna activate the veterans.
Yep.
The veterans, you got to go back in
Yep.
to the service and everything, and then the draft and everything will happen.
They're gonna come and get you.
To come and
Yep.
get you. If you're not harking on to it, guess what? You're going to prison or put to death or whatever. But
Yeah, man. You know, so that's what we getting towards, man. You know. So you ain't gonna have the same constitutional rights that you think you're entitled to now. Now you're finna go full-fledged into captivity. They get to dictate where you can go. You need your identification on you at all times. They can stop you. You know, and if they suspect that you might be one of those infected, or if they suspect that you're suspicious, you know, they can lock you away indefinitely.
Yeah.
They can literally without trial, without like they ain't gotta say nothing to you. They can just grab you up and just take you away, and basically you'll never see your family again.
That law, that opening it up, that executive order that Trump just passed, put with that NDAA Act, those two put together, the power of that, they can detain you as long as they want. They can kill you.
It's gonna turn into Nazi Germany.
It becomes
thing.
Nazi Germany.
The same thing. The
becomes
SS was out
ancient
there
Rome. Yep.
arresting, fucking killing motherfuckers, dude. No,
Yep.
no mercy. Same thing.
And who's gonna stop it?
And,
So-
and back in Nazi Germany, they were persecuting so-called Jews, right? Well, guess what? Now they're really gonna be persecuting the real Israelites, the real Jews.
Yep. I want to say this for all you that ain't caught up to this, can't say it haven't been said. Get your paperwork right. Don't leave without identification. And if you're watching these videos and you have a wife or whatever, don't let her go to the store alone. And it's best that she don't go at all. The young children, leave them at home. You know, like the brother brought up an article earlier, a 12-year-old girl was now infected and is fighting for her life for the coronavirus. So it's not just the elderly and the young children. So they're making sure this thing is hitting all levels. I think they up the strength of it.
Yeah.
They're pushing out on you.
It's the second or third strongest strand now.
Another strand of it.
the most affected age on the news today is that from the ages of 18 to 49.
18, wow, really?
18 to 49, because most of the elder population are already dying off from it.
Yeah.
But
So
wait,
now it's
wait.
hard.
Only old people get it.
Right.
Yeah, that's what they say.
So-called black people are immune to it. Stupid ass niggas.
It's all gonna push the agenda out there. What's funny is this is the best plan to destroy a large amount of people in a short amount of time and set up your new world order. This is pandemic. We mentioned it all the time, but I never saw the reality of it happening and then happening at the speed it's happening.
Oh, man.
Everything is happening because this is set up perfectly by the Heavenly Father.
God.
Bro, just last week, it was, you know, people were unsure what was going to happen. Then they started shutting down cities. So you know something's coming down tomorrow.
Yeah, come Monday, right?
Yeah.
They shutting shit down on Mondays.
Today is the 22nd. And they happen to have that in the first purge.
Movie, yep.
You know.
And the
But
6th annual purge.
They was already showing you what was getting ready to go down.
Yeah, and what they do.
Bill Gates and all these different higher ups, they were having these simulations all before this happened, showing you that this whole entire thing was already set up to happen this way.
It was already shooting footage of
Bill
flag.
Gates. Bill Gates, he's talking about,
You read that, right?
yeah, Bill Gates will use microchips to he will use microchip implants to fight coronavirus.
Fight.
Yeah. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates will launch human implantable capsules that have digital certificates which can show who has been tested for the coronavirus and who has been vaccinated against it.
We've been saying it. You're going to have to say something. You're going to have some proof that you've been vaccinated already.
Yeah.
Or that you don't have it.
It's going to have to show digitally.
Yep. Biometrically.
Biometric.
And quickly on the spot. But they got you. They don't want to have to just detain you until we figure out if you had your shot. I had my shots. How do we know? We need to know instantly on the spot.
Yep.
This tool right here, device, will be able to do that.
Yep.
Which is the mark of the beast. Let's not play games with what it is. It's the mark of the beast. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah, right?
It says the 64-year-old tech mogul and currently the second richest person in the world, but he's not. Revealed this yesterday during a Reddit Ask Me Anything session while answering questions on the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. Gates was responding to a question on how businesses will be able to operate while maintaining social distancing, and said that, well, eventually we will have some digital certificates to show who has recovered or been tested recently, or when we have a vaccine who have received it.
Yep.
There it is.
This is the most. We knew this was going to happen. I didn't know that this was going to be the base for everything that's coming into play. And once they free, America's all infected. The other countries going to be like, well, fuck America, man. And just bomb the shit out this place. All of it, man. The whole way that this thing is lining up is beautiful. It's beautiful. Even down to the way that we're about to be tested with our faith. We out here in a group with no masks in broad daylight, pops on the word, with no mask on. People riding around and whatnot, and we don't even give a shit.
Yeah.
Proving our faith.
It says the digital certificates Gates was referring to are human implantable. Quantum dot tattoos.
I'm about to say, what's wrong with a bracelet?
Hey, bro, what you say? What they say is June, bro?
It's June. Ain't no.
Ain't no microchip.
Ain't no microchips.
Bitch, June. It's in June.
What happened, Nate?
Yeah, what's the rest of these Israelite groups gonna say, man?
Yeah.
Well, what they gonna say? So what's
Y'all
this?
scared of a damn microchip.
Yeah.
Look, I got the chip.
But we not afraid of no microchip. We still gonna beat them. That's them UPK niggas. They can put a chip anywhere in my body. I'm still gonna get salvation. Dumbass, man. Anyway, this is quantum dot tattoos that researchers at MIT and Rice University are working on as a way to hold vaccination records. We were talking about this last night at the live show. It's all about maintaining your medical records in the digital database.
Yeah.
It's basically for your digital identification.
Bro, we did a lesson on them etching the chip into tattoos like years ago.
Yeah.
Well, a couple years ago we did a video on that.
Hey, when you go into the law on thou shalt not print any marks upon you, somebody get that for me? Because the definition, there's two definitions. One says an incision and the other says tattoo.
Yeah, do remember saying.
So either way is off.
Yeah.
It's off either way. You know?
Okay.
But what are you gonna do if you have to actually get that done in order for you to not get persecuted or for you to be able to buy food? or to continue to go to work, man. That's gonna keep you, it's gonna keep you away from, the society, man. You're gonna be basically outcasted, man. Are you gonna be willing to do that? And have faith and trust that Yahweh Shem Yahushai is gonna still miraculously preserve you, man.
Right now they got at the essential jobs. If you work in like a warehouse or a post office or something, they're now getting you paperwork that is essential because they already know when the martial law coming, you got to have that information so you can go back and forth to work. And they told us at UPS we can expect something. They don't know exactly when, but you can expect to have like an identification card to be able to go back and forth.
Yeah. So hey,
Amazon,
when this thing gets rolling, if you riding and shit, you on your way somewhere, and they pull you over, you ain't see. We got the real IDs already that got the chips in them. But that's gonna be done away with when the chip actually replaces it. Like when you have to actually get the implant. Everybody's going to get the implant. So when you get pulled over this time, let me see your chip. Give me your hand. Put your hand out the window. As a matter of fact, put your head out the window.
And all they needed to
that's a whole nother. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole society is going to be changed, man. This whole pandemic is actually meant for them to change life as we know it.
Yeah, time.
They're making all kind of changes based off of this so-called pandemic.
And the methods are draconian. Real austere. They're going to be real harsh, real freedom-like. It's the movie 1984 by Orson Welles. So all of this control that the government's having, he wrote that book, I think, in the 50s, I think. But when the movie came out in 80, I think like 84. But when all of this is going on, it's showing you the future of what's going to be happening, the type of life that we're going to be living. Hey, no different than Demolition Man. All of it. They paint a peaceful picture, but we know that the rules are so strict. The thing was, they were so nice in Demolition Man, but what? You couldn't even cuss. They were monitoring your speech. That's how much control that this government's about to take over you. They're gonna, even the smallest things are gonna take control over.
He's setting it in place, man.
Your freedoms are
This is how he's causing you to gradually come to the acceptance of bowing down to his image and receiving his mark. Somebody get that in Leviticus.
This is Leviticus 19 and 28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord.
That's it, man. And when you look up that word marks in the Hebrew, was that kwai? It literally means an incision or a tattoo. When you cut into the surface of something, you're making a cut or an imprint, an incision. So that chip, that's basically the mark that Esau is going to brand you with, in order for him to control you. And that's basically your identification to him. You're just another number to him that he can track down anywhere in the earth through this system that he's constructed. They can look anywhere on the map. Anywhere they look at on the digital map. If you're chipped up, you're basically plugged into the system, so he can find out where you at anywhere on the planet Earth.
And they're doing that in China right now with the apps on their phone of the infected, so they can monitor their whereabouts and where the
and they'll know, like if based on that device, if you contrive anything, if you contract any virus or anything, it'll pop up on their database
or
system.
show symptoms.
It'll show symptoms, and once they read that, they're gonna go and send some people to come and gather your ass up out of that situation and quarantine you, man.
What movie was that? I think it was a zombie movie where they're talking about the temperature of the person infected.
28 days.
It might have been.
it
Well,
might
because
have
they had the blue, the thermal imaging to be able to tell when the temperature was rising. Which I don't remember which movie it was, but that was going on.
Bro, I was looking somewhere on the down in South America or Mexico somewhere. They had a thermal imaging camera when people were coming through like some kind of security checkpoint, so they could see if they had a fever, if they weren't regular.
At the airport. They had it at the airport.
In Mexico?
In Mexico.
Yeah. I saw that on the the Mexican news.
Yeah. The world's set up for this already.
Yeah.
They've been ready for this. They're just implementing it. Okay, stage one, get them on the streets and get them in place.
That's why it's shut down. Everything's shut down so they can put those machines in.
No problem. No, they're gonna sit in traffic and worry about it. And people walking out protesting. No, they already got things in place.
Pull those guillotines up in the whole 9 yards.
Hey, the
Oh,
whole,
yeah. And the guillotines is not like the ancient guillotines.
No.
They actually got smart guillotines.
Yeah.
Like them things come down with precision, man. You know? They got that, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Somebody went and mastered,
Oh,
the
yeah.
art of making guillotine. You saw master of destruction, bro. I was gonna say, like in California right now, these drone pictures, check out their disobeying the stay-at-home orders or whatever, the curfews or whatever they're doing. All of this is gonna turn into a worse situation.
They had several drones fly over the city, the beach, to show basically how empty everything was,
But now, when it comes down to it, and they see people just gonna be outside anyway, particularly our people.
No, we didn't.
We didn't.
No. Keep it. You may need it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When that begins to happen, they're gonna have to come down with great wrath. They're just putting everybody in position so that don't get out of control. So, because on the East Coast, there's so many people in such a small, concentrated area, the cops gonna have to just quarantine off areas. Like the brother brought up the 21 bridges. They brought up what was on the first purge? They shut the island off.
I am Legend. They shot the missiles at the bridges to shut it off.
Yeah, so you can't get out.
Imagine you shutting down those
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises, he shot the bridges down.
And that shows you even in the siege, when they had troops on the Brooklyn Bridge. And there was of course there was racially profiling. Any tall head they saw, he was getting took. But hey, Esau, he gonna find a way through all this because it's supposed to be a health crisis to the world. Where he's gonna find a way to start demonizing people and bring up terrorism and all that other shit in the midst of it too. So he can get at those that who he's been suspected of being enemy combatants, enemy of the state, so-called terrorists, people that are a threat to their newer order. They're gonna have them in mind. They're gonna be trying to come against them in this time, man.
He's gonna try to group a specific group with the Chinese to say, someone else had their hand in this pandemic other than, Esau got to throw the blame on somebody.
ISIS.
Yeah.
ISIS brought some coronavirus patients.
It's Iran.
Yeah, or Iran was responsible.
That's why Trump keeps on referring to the Chinese virus. China virus. It came from
China.
It comes from China.
They call it the cunt flu.
Come.
The trips. Out here.
Yeah, man. I think there was a little more in the article, but I don't know if brothers had precepts. I know brothers probably got some
I was
scriptures.
gonna bring up that because we gotta still grab Revelation 13 and 16 as well.
Yeah.
Hey, because when you go into those words, carrots, karaks, which goes into the what do you call it? The needle or the snake, man.
Yeah, the syringe.
The syringe, the water, bro. Hey, because with that syringe, and what? That's the actual tool used in order to deepen into the skin to release the actual microchip, man.
And the other, what's the other root word? Karaks. And then there's another term.
I know it.
It's Karaso or
Taraxo.
No, I'm gonna get it for you, bro. Hold on.
Because it also has to do with records. Your records, and that's what this is.
Yeah, that certificate that Gates is referring to.
That's your records, man.
Yeah.
That's gonna be basically
The medical records.
in that chip.
Want me to bring up the scripture while you
No, I got the precept.
Oh, you got it in Revelation?
It's Revelation 13 and 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark.
You have to put this mark into your body if you want to continue to live life in this society. After the pandemic, after the vaccine, after the martial law, they're going to sell it as this is what's going to put life back, help get life back to normal. But we know life ain't ever going back to normal, especially once you take it. Especially once you take these chips, life ain't going back to normal. And it's definitely not going to get better.
The currency as well.
Right.
You can't buy or sell anything.
It's going to go right to the cryptocurrencies, the bitcoins and whatever else they got out there. It'll go right to everything's going to be lined right up to that chip. The credit card numbers, all of that.
Yeah, because it ain't gonna just be medical records on there. It's gonna, even though they're using it as, this is a solution to this health crisis.
Right.
Yeah.
No, this is the end all be all. This is the final solution that they've been wanting to bring forth all along.
This is the infinity.
And it's not going to be just your medical records. It's going to be all your financial records, your banking statements, all that is in there. So
Passport.
your passports,
They are
all
Real
your
ID.
information.
Your real ID.
Your real ID is that the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
And they said, because they're saying that the money, try not to use money now.
Yeah.
So,
Get away from the paper.
yeah,
money.
get away from the paper money. So they're just conditioning more so to say, hey, this is going to have everything for you.
And
This is the way to go.
It's already laid out for you.
And the people gonna eat it up because it's gonna be like, damn, like everything is so convenient, because the people are so used to, they're desperate and they already want a way out of it. So once they see it, they're gonna be like, wait up. So I don't need nothing else. I don't need no wallet. My phone is already linked to it.
Yeah.
They're gonna start trying to see the benefits within Esau's system. And that's where
And
it's gonna get
these
them,
people are growing accustomed to solution technology.
man.
Yeah. And that perfect. That's why they're saying you millennials are the generation that's gonna help fight this thing. It's gonna help. We need to help fight this thing. You're the ones that aren't getting infected, but we're gonna need you to do all the things to not pass it around and blah 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 blah. Well, what they're really saying is you're the ones that's already linked into this the solution technology that we got pushing out there. That you have no problem social distancing and whatever else. That you'll go, that you're the fucking blind sheep. You don't give a damn. And don't know nothing. You'll blindly just go right into this, to whatever we tell you. You'll obey the propaganda and just roll right with it. Okay? You're not gonna think for yourself to try to figure a way out. But that taking away that cash and taking this chip will do. All of your families that hustle, Jace particularly, that hustle's out. All the hustle is now out.
Esau studied all he studied all this shit, man. He knew exactly how he was going to
Yeah.
do it.
DVD hustles.
Psalm 64, man. It was that was all part of them having these secret councils, man.
Because
they do that diligent search.
right now, a lot of businesses that people do things like say wash cars, mobile, they can still operate to a degree, right?
Right.
But Esau about to
Can't
shut all that shit down, man. Once they implement that.
It makes all transactions go through him.
Exactly. And so what you said, those that hustle, I wash your car. If you give me a case of beer,
Or gardeners,
$20 or
they
whatever.
still kind of could work a little bit,
Right.
you know.
Or the guy,
But now you gotta go to like, what you gonna say?
or the guy or the lady who's with the cart out there honking the horn.
Right,
the hustle's gone.
Elote
Yeah,
and then the
yeah,
ices and all
yeah.
that stuff.
All they
right?
gotta do is every grocery store or everywhere where you make your payments, they're not gonna be taking cash.
Yep. But what does that do? That stops the transactions to where all your hustle's over. So now everything that you do is gonna have to go through their system.
Yeah.
But if you're not into their system the same way, or if you're gonna struggle in their system because you don't make enough for whatever you do to earn your living, now what? Now you asked out. Especially if you don't take it. Like we can't take that.
And they're transitioning right now because Esau comes with all these statistics about, they say 3,000 types of bacteria on paper money, and they give you all these scenarios. You give your card to the teller, whatever, you know, and all this, you know, and people read that and they'll continue to push that narrative in the news. 3,000 germs and bacteria, and people, okay, you know, let me just get this chipped in.
Turn the world into germaphobe.
Yeah, come on.
That just shows that how about Shimei Shai is really gonna have to be with us in that day.
Yeah.
Because to the naked eye, it seems like fuck, man. Like there's no way out of this shit. There's no way around it. Like fuck.
But hey,
It's the only thing.
1 Corinthians 10 and 13.
It's the only way out. There is a way out.
There is a way.
How about Shimei Shai is gonna take care of us?
The Lord, he told us, he said, if he that shall keep the word of my patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
You want to read that right now? And I'll get 13 out.
This is our Revelation.
Matter of fact, let me read mine for you. I think I want to go to first. Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There has no temptation taken you, but such as common to man. But the Most High, Yahweh, is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. We can't, if he tell us don't take the chip, he got to provide a lane for us not to take it. A lane that carved out with wisdom.
It's Isaiah 30 and 3. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and
for those that take it.
Go
ahead.
And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion.
Yeah, because you're going to trust and you're going to be confused and it's not going to save you. It's only going to line you up for greater destruction. You know?
Isaiah 36 and 6.
36?
Yeah, 36 and 6.
It's Isaiah 36 and 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt.
Yeah, so a broken reed is like a measuring stick, but it's not measuring up right. It's not measuring out to the proper righteousness level that we need for salvation.
Excuse me.
Wherein if a man
You gotta have a Bible study. You'll be Bible study. We'll be Bible study. Bible study.
Bible study? No, Bible study.
You had to be Bible study?
It's Isaiah 36 and 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce him. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him.
I'm the son of God.
You know, so if you,
I'm the son of God.
if you, you know, you basically you make man your trust.
Yes.
You trust in this system, which most of our people, they trust in this system. So that's why it's going to be easy for Esau to get a lot of Jake to receive his mark, man. Because they already worship his image. They're being trained psychologically to obey this man's new system, man. They got all these different celebrities and entertainers that put all type of ideas in their head, basically just to lead them, you know, to the worshiping of Satan, man. You know. So you lean too much on your enemy. Eventually, you're gonna get caught, man. You're gonna get pierced. And this whole chipping thing, which they're gonna use it to try to act as if, you know, they're trying to help the people.
Yep.
Really, that's the serpent about to bite.